We move to a story about early childhood trauma. It is common in Tennessee and it impacts all areas of a child's life.
Yeah, as 10 News reporter Grant Robinson explains, teachers in one East Tennessee system are becoming part of the solution.
If this looks like a camp, that's because it is. But the campers are teachers, and they're here to learn about childhood trauma. That can be either emotional, physical, or come from household dysfunction.
So when we think about trauma, we think about things that happen to children that are really challenging for them to process.
Anything from divorce, abuse, a parent in jail, or parents with substance abuse issues can impact how a child's brain develops. In Tennessee, somewhere between 20 and 30% of students have experienced 4 or more traumatic events. Now, a new program through Harmony Family Center teaches teachers about that and gives them the tools to help. In addition to educating teachers and giving them the tools for the classroom, the program also gives children and their families access to specialized family counselors and animal-assisted therapies. The goal is to help children overcome the challenges that trauma creates, skills that educators like Brandy Easterly say go beyond the classroom.
So of course we would love for them to do well and to learn and to succeed academically, but to succeed in life and be productive citizens and to be able to cope with stress, all 3 different types, is really our goal.
In Blount County, Grant Robinson, WBIR 10 News.
And right now, the Maryville City School System is testing the pilot program, but on Monday, teachers at Austin East High School will undergo similar training. The state is also funding innovative projects in 14 other Tennessee counties.